it's just like, boom, son, there's your castle. Fucking yes. There's your construction work. Oh yes, love it. So in the theme. What's that? Do I have Spider-Man on my t-shirt? That's right, boy, it's Spider-Man. It's actually, like, patented, so it's, like, really... I don't know if patented's the right word, but it's 3D, bumpy and stuff. It's Spider-Man from Universal Studios Japan, which is currently cut off by the screen. There we go. Universal Studios Japan. Yeah, I bought this in Japan, because they really like Spider-Man there. It's kind of cool. It's weird, but cool. It's like Spider-Man kind of had the same reception as Godzilla did. In this case, regarding to me, I had two, I worn the first Godzilla shirt featured in the very start of this series, and this Japan shirt, this Spider-Man shirt, and in two different locations, people were like, "Oh, Godzilla! You like Godzilla? That's so cool!" I think that was Hiroshima. I had a Godzilla t-shirt on, and I think that was the one I wore the other day in the earlier video. And then I wore this during the later end of the trip, and I also got complimented on wearing a Spider-Man t-shirt, which is really cool. Anyway, let's talk about June 8th, Universal Studios and Namba. In other words, copyrighted music all throughout the video, so that's fun. Thank you, Universal, you bastards. So let's see, we got up early today, so we'll still stand at Adams to beat the queue as we departed for Universal Studios theme park. We had already bought our tickets well in advance. Upon arrival, we were introduced to a very American street, because this is like their own version of America. It's weird. So you get there off the station, and you're introduced to this whole street, which has stores like, it has a whole bunch of old film, new film posters, actually. Then you've got the Hard Rock Cafe, you've got Gap, you've got Bubba Gup Shrimp Co., a Starbucks, and then, of course, a Universal store, and a few more stores. It's just purely... And I think they've got a Universal Museum as well. I don't know, we didn't go into it. Either way, it's just like store. It's just bonkers. So that was weird, and then that's not even the park yet. Then you turn around the corner, and there you go, the park. We didn't know that there was a giant Universal logo ball, which is around the corner, because there were so many queues, so we just went straight in instead, which was fine. Look how under-impressive this park is. It's just America. Oh, it's the fucking Galaxy Quest thing. Alright, I already love this place more than Disneyland. We continued into the theme park, where I noticed a heavy dosage of illumination, stuff. Illumination, the people who gave you Minions and Despicable Me and Sing. But Spider-Man's cool, though. Yeah. However, we journeyed to the Harry Potter land first, because, of course, it's the most prominent land there, because it was most nostalgic for myself and my dad, as we both, had experienced the films when they were coming out, and my dad had actually read all the books. He's actually a bigger Harry Potter fan than me, which is cool, because, that's Harry Potter. Why wouldn't you be a fan? We then passed we passed through a stone circle, which I think was featured heavily in the third film. You pass through that, you get all this cool-ass music, and then you see the damaged flying car, which you could take pictures in front of. I don't know if I took any video. I definitely know I took a picture of it, but I did not take a picture in front of it, of myself in front of it. And then we entered Hogsmeade, where I realized it was my friend's birthday, and so I took a selfie in front of Hogsmeade and sent it to my friend, who's a big Harry Potter fan, and she was jealous, and it was great. Yeah. So you had to pass the train, the Hogwarts Express, which blew smoke every now and again. They had the Hogsmeade platform there. And so then you went into the first store was the lolly store that we went into, and there's a whole variety of stores there as it was. The lolly store in particular, we decided to buy a few things. We decided to buy 2 packets of Birdie Bot beans, one for myself and Dad, and one for Noah, because Noah had said that he really wanted one, because we had has an American friend who had, or maybe it was a colleague who went to America, went to Disney, like the Universal Land there or whatever it was, bought the American one, which has all the Birdie Bots. Of course, are all different flavors. It comes with a little manual inside telling you what each flavor is according to a picture. The Japanese one is all in Japanese, which is annoying. But the American one, of course, is all in English. So we were able to understand what all the things were beforehand. So when we ate them this time around in Japan, we knew what they were. Noah still has that difficulty because he doesn't know what a lot of them are. I mean, he knows what a lot of them are, but at the same time, he doesn't know what all of them are. So, aka the bad ones. Which one's vomit? Which one's dirt? Which one is soap? That kind of stuff. Yeah, so where am I? Oh, I've still got a whole bunch of stamps in here, but a lot of them are for like Nara and stuff. Doesn't matter. So we also bought a chocolate frog each, Dad and I will show you that in the final video. At least the box. The chocolate frog was as big as the box, and you'll see, because it's like as big as my hand, pretty much. But it came with the Pentagon card, so like the actual like holographic card. Mine wasn't very special. I think Dad's was like Rowena Ravenclaw or someone like that. Someone like from the films, pretty much, who's not a big character, but is referenced in the films. Mine was like a woman who was like the first woman to fly across the Pacific or the Atlantic only on a broomstick, which I guess is cool. But it's just like a character made up for this kind of thing. Yeah, so but the chocolate frogs were really big and were quite nice. And I also got Dad got a keychain, which was the chocolate frog one, which was a much smaller chocolate frog packet with the chain leading to the frog, and I got myself a Birdie Bot Beans one, which was a much smaller packet, but also you could shake it and there was Birdie Bot inside, plus Birdie Bots hanging off the thing, all made of plastic so you couldn't eat them, of course. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Again, we'll show you that in the last video. We then continued to have butterbeer, which they also had butterbeer things. You could buy a cup which had butterbeer in between it, like so you could pour water in and make it look like, oh, I'm drinking butterbeer. So we bought butterbeer from like a street cart thing, and you could buy a collectible cup with it, or you could just buy a disposable one that just had Wizarding World, as you can see in this picture and video here. Oh, that's weird, but nice. That's good. It is kind of like ginger ale, but like softer and creamier. The frothing was like its own sugary thing, which was really nice and sweet, which is quite nice. So we drank that, but we also went into line to get into Ollivander's. Which we thought was like, it's kind of weird, you gotta go into a line to get into Ollivander's. It gets better. We got a good shot of the castle, went down this pathway, got the good shot of the castle, and that was all in the queue for Ollivander's. Had to finish off our butterbeer because we weren't allowed to drink inside, which was fine. The woman actually took the cups from us, which was really nice. Probably actually recycled it. And then we went inside, and they had this whole room full of all these, it looked like books, but it was all the little cases for the wands. And when everyone was inside, they were like, okay, well now we're going to go into the main room. I think that's what she said. It was all in Japanese anyway. We walked into this other room, and all the lights went dim, and then this old guy dressed up kind of like Ollivander, but not exactly, came out, and he pretty much reenacted the scene from the very first Harry Potter film where where Harry meets Ollivander, and you have all the special things like, oh, here's this, let's try this one that's made of this and this, and like try it on this vase and stuff. So here's a little video that shows some of the stuff that they did there.
Here, the wand chooses the wizard. I sense the next to be chosen. Young lady, step forward. Welcome to Ollivander's. We've been expecting you. I'm the wand keeper. Please tell me your name. Liana. So, is this your first wand? Yeah. It is. Please step into the light here, sir. Now tell me, which is your wand arm? Migi kiki, hidari kiki, left or right? Right. Now let me speak. Lucy, オリバンドの杖はすべて強力な魔力を持ったものを真に使っている。魔法使いと杖が最も強い引き合うとき、ベストな結果がもたらされる。Every Ollivander's wand has a core of a powerful magical substance. Ivy, start the Degetatsu. 13 inches. 芯にはユニコーンのたてがみが使われている。このユニコーンヘア。あの花瓶の花に水をあげられるから。You to water the plants in that vase. Point your wand at them and say, Aguamenti. Interesting.
Of course, when they ended that, they had the wand where the perfect wand for the girl, where the lights went up and everything. It was like, oh, it's all special, and the fans on and everything. I was like, oh, cool. We think she kept the wand. We didn't actually find out in the end, but it was fine. It was just a tourist, so she probably did. I mean, why wouldn't you give away a free wand? But then you move into the next room, which of course is the shop, and they had all these replica wands from all the main characters. Well, not all the main characters, but a lot of the main characters. And they had some kind of generic ones that you could just buy for yourself. They had two types of wands, ones which were just regular ones, others which were magical. The only difference was I think the magical ones were like an extra $3 and had like a sensor in them. So when you went around Hogwarts, the whole of the Hogwarts area, you could cast a spell kind of thing, and like one of them, which was the only one we ever saw, a door would start to unlock, but then it would lock itself again. Which I guess is cool for like the younger kids and whatever. I didn't buy one for myself, neither did Dad. So it didn't really matter to us that much. But there was an extra part of the store where you could get like a Harry Potter cloak, or like the badges, or t-shirt, or all kinds of stuff. I didn't buy anything actually. I only bought the Bertie Bott thing because I felt that was the most kind of impressive thing there, which again was in the candy store. So the castle helmed a 3D ride. There was a hippogriff ride next to it, which we didn't go on. There was a walk of the castle, which we thought we were going down. Then it turned out we were actually in queue for a Harry Potter 3D ride inside the castle, which was mental. And I have no footage to show you, which really is annoying because it was really quite the experience. You go in there, you get a locker, put your stuff away. I forgot that Dad had my camera still, so of course we had the camera bag, we brought it in, and then we got in these seats, and the guy was like, oh, you're okay with your camera there, with your bag there. He didn't actually know it was a camera bag, and I was like, yeah, no, it's cool, it's secure, because you put the thing down, you sit on the chair, and it's moving, and so I had to secure my bag with me. I actually tied it, because I've got a very long cord around it, so I tied it around my wrist to make sure I wouldn't go anywhere. Because then suddenly you get lifted up, and then there's a Hermione thing there. It's like a hologram of her, and she's speaking in Japanese, and she's like, says something probably like "Welcome to Hogwarts" or some random crap. Then she casts a spell. You go through this digital spell thing, because it's a mixture of 3D digital screen and practical things. So they have like actual animatronics and stuff. I'll get to that. And the first thing you do is you're flying in Quidditch. You're playing like a Quidditch game, and then suddenly the dragon attacks, the dragon from the fourth film, and then Harry and I think Ron come and save you. You fly out of there, then you end up flying into a castle room, and then suddenly you're in the actual castle room, like practically in that room, and the dragon is trying to reach you with its arm, and then you go out, and then the dragon tries to breathe fire on you. You get this really hot steam on you, which is really cool. Again, a lot of practical effects. They really went out of their way for this one. It's bloody mental. We got into another projector thing where we escaped the dragon, and then they introduced the Dementors, of course, and you get into a practical thing where they have a giant, like a whole bunch of actual practical Dementors, and a giant one that tries to suck the soul out of you. And then Harry comes in, does his spell, and then you keep going down, and there's some spiders from the second Harry Potter film, because now you're in the woods. And Maybe it's a mix of that. I think it's like the Dementors and the spiders and the Dementors again. Harry comes in, does his spell. I don't remember. And then you get the hell out of there and you come back to the castle and then it's like everyone's celebrating and they're all speaking Japanese and Dumbledore's speaking Japanese and it's like, what's happening? And they congratulate you because you are alive, I guess. I mean, that's the best thing in Hogwarts if you don't die by the end of the year. And then you leave and you go to a little shop and you get out. And I was so dizzy after I got out of there. I was like, what the hell was I just... My brain couldn't comprehend where it had just been. So we got out. I was exceptionally dizzy. So we went to Snoopy Land. I call it Snoopy Land even though it has Elmo and a whole bunch of other characters there. It's pretty much the children's land. It's like Toontown at Disneyland, but not Disney characters. And they, again, were playing all this copyrighted music. But they had a bunch of Snoopy rides and stuff. And we went to the Snoopy store. And Jesus Christ, I just realized I've been talking about Harry Potter for like 10 minutes. It was probably the biggest part of the park. We sat down, had a bit to eat. And then we moved on. I don't think there is much else to say about that. No. So we continued our trek into Amity Village from Jaws, which is weird. Like, it seemed like a very much of an excuse for an area, but okay. It was like a strangely accurate recreation of the town, very much like the Pirates of the Caribbean thing. You'd go around the town, there'd be some shops where you could eat stuff. There was a boat ride that you could go on. We did not. We went into the store, a whole bunch of Jaws stuff, some cool shirts, but I figured I can save my money and buy this stuff on like eBay later. Or whatever, you know.
I have to film this.
And there was no real great ones though, which is disappointing. No classic like logo shirts from Jaws or even Jurassic Park, which was the next part that we went into. Well, we tried to get to Waterworld. Yeah, Waterworld was closed. Turns out Kevin Costner wasn't there, so yeah, that's kind of boring if he's not there, of course, apparently. Anyway, then we moved into Jurassic Park, which just seemed like very barren. It was just a whole bunch of kind of pavement and then plants and then poles, because the poles were all holding up this big ride. It's like a pterodactyl ride where you just go crazy, and I was going to go on it, but I decided that might kill me, so I decided against it. The Jurassic Ride Park was closed. The park ride was actually closed, but they had a shop and like 2 restaurants. The shop had an animatronic dinosaur, which is cool. I don't know how much of a video I got of it, but I got some pictures, so that was cool. It roared at you a few times. I think there was like a lot of what do you call it? There was a lot of copyrighted music, so yeah, that's fun. But the pterodactyl ride seemed pretty great. So then we skipped on through to San Francisco, where we got a better view of the dinosaur ride up in the air, but Dad took a long video of it. I just stood and watched.
What's with the Easter ship? Yeah, this is all Minion Park. Get it? It's Seaman and his friends and the society, because they're upper class.
And then we had an American hot dog, for lunch, because that was cool. And visited New York City.
Pedestrians, we're going to fucking New York. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. I'm shooting it like an MTV video because I hate my life. I don't even know if I'm filming anymore. Where's Spider-Man?
We took a photo of Spider-Man who was hanging down, which is pretty cool. Which you could, I like it. They took a professional photo, then one with your phone, and you're like, oh, here's a token so you can buy your photo, and you go up there and it's already printed and framed, and it's like $30, and we're like, yeah, we're not buying a goddamn picture of us with Spider-Man, we've already got one on our phone, goddammit. So then we walked away, and it was all happy-go-lucky. We visited another, so I've got some extra footage of the Spider-Man 3D ride, which I later went on to. and there was a big Spider-Man store, which I ended up buying this baby. How we go? So we visited another Snoopy store that was actually near the front of the place. There was also like all this extra like Godzilla stuff and Sailor Moon and what was that other, Attack on Titan as well. They had like a whole thingy for Attack on Titan. It was like a 3D, I think it was a 4D like movie ride thing. Same with Godzilla was like its own 4D movie, and yeah, it was kind of weird. But we didn't go into any of them because we didn't have the time to, so we just were like, who cares? You know, I don't care much for Attack on Titan or Sailor Moon. I like Godzilla, but I was not really interested in seeing Big going on the ride, so we just moved on. Went to a Snoopy store. Dad bought some Snoopy stuff. He bought a Snoopy Hawaiian shirt. And then we went back to Spider-Man. Bought the shirt, got a minted coin, and I went on the... I think I got video footage of like Elmo and a bunch of other characters doing a Bollywood dance, which was really weird. All these Sesame Street characters doing a Bollywood dance. That was the thing. Then I ended up going on the Spider-Man ride, which again couldn't film any of it. But it was pretty much just you sit on a chair, you go through this whole thing. It had all these animations from the original like animated cartoon, which was pretty cool. And they had it so it was designed that like, oh, here's the story of like you're one of 12 journalists that J. Jonah Jameson has put into this chair, into this little driving mobile, and you have to go through and take pictures of all the villains and Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff. And then you go in, you find you meet Spider-Man. He tells you should get out of there because of course it's bad for you. I think it was mostly in Japanese. I can't recall. Yeah, I think it was all in Japanese, except for one character, which I'll get to. Then you see the villains at their hideout, they all attack you, you get shocked by Electro, I think there's a character called Scream, who screams at you once and then runs away for the rest of the thing. I think Dr. Octopus is there and has like an anti-gravity gun, because that's what they're using to like destroy the city and stuff, and it's pretty mental, the amount of characters they had all digitally there. They didn't really have much practical stuff. They had some steam, and the whole thing jolted about. You went around for all these mildly practical things, but most of it was just digital screens. And then there was a part where you get like one of the characters picks you up. It might be Vulture, I don't remember. Picks you up and you're flying. Oh, maybe no, the anti-gravity gun. You go up in the air and Spider-Man grabs you and saves you, but then someone grabs Spider-Man and flies him around, and you go flying like crazy, and then you land, and then in a web, and then Stan Lee's there. It's Stan Lee cameo, of course, and he's like, good job, you're alive, and then you get out of there, and Spider-Man thanks you for your help, I guess, and then you go out, and Stan Lee says, make sure to, grab your stuff when you leave, and that was it. Yeah, so then we ended our studio tour with a picture and video of the rotating Universal logo, and then visited the Hard Rock Cafe store and left. I bought myself a keychain. Dad bought himself a keychain and I think it was a badge and a t-shirt. So yeah, overall, pretty fun park. I did my best to avoid the Minions. A lot of Minions merch. A lot of people with Minions on their heads, or kids dress up as Minions, and it was nightmarish. Outside of that, the rest of the park was alright. Harry Potter, definitely worth it. Spider-Man's not bad. That probably Godzilla ride may have been pretty cool, but the Snoopy stuff was pretty cool as well. Yeah. I guess if you like Minions, that was the most crowded place, so luckily we could avoid it very easily, because it was its own side section, which is really cool, so we happily avoided that. Yeah, overall, pretty fun park. I kind of preferred it to Disneyland, only because, I like Harry Potter more than I do Disney sometimes, and Disney's this whole, global corporate conglomerate stuff, and it's kind of just screwing over the media industry. Anyway, sorry about that, I just kind of screwed the microphone. Where were we? Oh yeah, so, back in Osaka, Adam showed us Namba, which is a kind of a variety of streets culminating in a futuristic street of restaurants.
Have you seen down there? Go down that way in a minute.
anything more. This is way too much. There's so much shit. Oh, there's even a bloody river. What is this?
This is one of the most famous parts of Osaka.
This is the convenience of having an iPhone. I can film on this and film it automatically in 1080. This is great. This is mental. There's even a boat. Starbucks. This looks nice.
Before this culmination, however, we visited some stores. One store had a floor full of DVDs, both American and Japanese, on both shelves. This is where I found the Blu-ray of Eraserhead, but I only bought the DVD because the DVD was like $5. It was like 500 yen, and I already had the Blu-ray, but I had the Criterion Blu-ray, so I'm like, I don't need the Japanese one. And I also found, alongside with that, I got a DVD of a Japanese film called Sky High, which I have since tested, and it has English subtitles. Thank God. That was like $4 in a great case. Again, show you in the end. Really teasing that last video, aren't I? And then I also got a film called Super Cop Lockdown, which is a Jackie Chan film. I've actually got the first. It's Police Story. Jackie Chan did a bunch of Police Story films. The first three were there's Police Story 1, Police Story 2, Police Story 3 is Super Cop, which I don't have and it's hard to get. Police Story 4, which I think is this one, is Lockdown. It's kind of like a reboot kind of thing. I've checked, doesn't have any English subtitles, so I've got the Cantonese or Japanese dub, so I guess that's good enough. And, you know, I figured, because, hey, it's a Jackie Chan film, why not? It seems cool. It's the only Blu-ray I bought, so that seemed outside of the Snow White one from earlier in the week. And I thought that was pretty cool, so, yeah, why not? And it was only like $10, maybe $7, so it was pretty cheap. We journeyed back through the streets, where I bought an anime-like schoolgirl figure. Yeah, I'll show you in the last one. It's not lewd or anything, actually, it's pretty cool. And we went back to Adams, where we had dinner and whatnot. So, yeah, that was Universal Studios. And next video, we'll be talking about Hiroshima, Himeji, and more Namba, where we bought some street food and stuff. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you for watching. I'm sorry that all the footage had to be pretty much muted because of copyrighted reasons. But again, most of the footage that I've been putting through these videos, I've edited like the first video so far, and it seems that what I'm pretty much doing is keeping straight to just narrating a lot of it, and having the video footage being a combination. If there's anything interesting in the video footage, I'll put that has good audio to it, then I'll leave that in, of course. Yeah. Overall, that was a pretty long Saturday. My feet were so dead after it. But it was nice. I enjoyed it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. If you really like this Spider-Man shirt, then give it a really big like, I guess. I don't know. I feel sorry for the friends and family who are watching these videos and being like, I don't have a YouTube account. I'm just watching these videos because it's you in Japan and I wanted to see more of that. And, and just like, why are you telling me to like and subscribe? I'm sorry. It's just YouTube. It's how it works. If you haven't watched any of the other YouTube videos I've done on Japan, I've got a whole series. There is a playlist in the description or on screen now. So yeah, feel free to check that out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.